that stone door slams so hard the hallway shivers. Carlos jerks around, palms out, like he can catch it, like he can stop it. The air turns wet, cold, and his camcorder screen fuzzes into snowy static. Then a girl whispers right beside his ear, close enough to warm his skin, "Come see me," again and again. He is alone in a cemetery crypt that should not be able to lock from the inside. Rose Hill Cemetery sits in Hamilton, Ohio, quiet in daylight, almost polite. Carlos is a local kid, the kind who dares himself into trouble, with a camera and a grin. 2 hours later, police pry that door open. Carlos walks out blinking, silent, and something inside Rose Hill learns his mother's name. Ely Brennan locks the tool shed at dusk, keys clinking softly, while light drains away behind crooked headstones. A whisper slides from behind urns, using Eli's name softly, like someone testing a lock, patient, careful, close. Eli turns fast, flashlight slicing trees, finding only stone faces, still leaves, gravel paths, yet the hush feels crowded. He finishes locking up early, hands shaking, taking the long way home, past rows that feel strangely occupied. Days pass, Eli avoids that urn row, pretending superstition, fatigue, nothing more, yet his skin keeps prickling there. During a burial, a sulphur stink blooms around mourners, thick enough to taste, while faces tighten, eyes searching shadows. The casket lid snaps open mid-prayer, then slams shut, leaving Reverend Moss frozen, staring down at trembling hands. Eli watches 3 people run while the cemetery swallows their footsteps, like it never wanted witnesses, never wanted noise. Later, Eli finds the grave settled flat again, as if nothing happened, as if the ground itself is lying. One evening, Eli hears slow scratching inside a nearby mausoleum, circling him, steady, deliberate, without moving air. He presses an ear to cold stone. The scratching pauses instantly, like it notices contact, like it listens back. A soft laugh leaks through the door seam. Eli backs away, throat tight, swallowing a curse, refusing to look. Weeks later, a figure in a white dress glides between stones, moving too smoothly for uneven ground, unreal. Eli follows with flashlight low, breath loud, seeing the dress flash once, then vanish behind angel statues, silent. He reaches fresh overturned soil, dark, wet, finding no footprints, no drag marks, no explanation, only cold quiet. Eli drinks from a hidden bottle, staring at that patch, feeling watched by every carved name nearby, judging him. At home on site, Eli double locks his door. The house creaks in protest, like it hates being shut out. Years later, Carlos enters the cemetery at night, camcorder raised, friends whispering dares behind him, laughing too loud. He frames a shot near the path. A pale girl in white appears behind them, smiling patiently, waiting, still. The camcorder audio warps into high-pitched screaming. The friends bolt, leaving Carlos alone, staring, unable to breathe. Carlos rewinds the tape at home. The girl's smile seems to widen each replay, like it learns him. Night terrors start. Carlos wakes, choking on cemetery air, hearing gravel crunch inside his bedroom, right beside him. He returns alone, trying to act brave, carrying a cheap flashlight that flickers like it feels fear too. A childlike whisper curls through trees, repeating, "Come see me," guiding him toward older stones, deeper shade, colder. Carlos stops at a crypt entrance, feeling dark inside, breathe outward, like the place inhales people, slow, hungry. Fluorescent lights buzz in the records office. Paper stacks sit too neat, too expectant, too quiet, waiting. Printers wake without warning, spitting hot pages, ink smell rising, while the room fills with a low electric hum. Dr. Mara Keene steps into the office, reading a death certificate copy, seeing a birth date printed like threat. Mara sets a recorder on the desk. The tape motor whines like something inside resents being captured, held, named. Playback reveals her full name spoken backward, crisp, intimate, like a mouth pressed against the microphone, breathing softly. Mara smiles despite herself, scribbling notes, pretending excitement is not the same thing as dread. Not tonight. The fluorescent lights flicker into a steady pulse. Mara notices the rhythm matches her breathing, like it tracks her. She asks a question into the recorder. The office phone rings once, then stops mid-chime, leaving dead silence. A printer coughs out another certificate. The type name reads Mara Keene, spelled perfectly, impossibly bold, fresh ink. Mara yanks the power cord. The printer keeps feeding paper, gears clicking like teeth chewing, refusing to die. Her recorder rewinds itself. Her own voice plays back, asking for help in a tone she never used. Mara enters the mausoleum corridor at night, flashlight beam trembling across stone doors, moisture beading, air turning sharp. A voice ahead sounds exactly like Mara, calling her full name gently, like it guides her home deeper. She answers without thinking. The echo answers back, delayed like something practicing her cadence, learning her pauses. Her recorder captures footsteps behind her, yet the corridor stays empty when she spins around quickly, heart hammering. The air drops colder. Mara's breath fogs thick. Her flashlight dims to weak yellow, shadows pressing closer. From deeper inside, her own voice plays on a loop, repeating one phrase, "You're safe," over, over. Mara walks toward the sound, hand on stone wall, feeling faint vibrations, like distant humming under skin, constant. The corridor seems longer than before. Her light never reaches the end, no matter how she advances, trapped. A door stands ajar that should be sealed. The nameplate reads Overlook, letters worn smooth by many hands. Mara steps inside. The door swings shut behind her, slow, certain, like an eyelid closing, cutting light. In darkness, her voice repeats from nowhere, while her recorder emits frantic breathing that matches her panic too close. Mara pounds stone, knuckles stinging. A whisper answers. "You're here now," soft as a kiss, patient, pleased. Carlos returns months later, entering the crypt corridor, hearing his mother's name spoken with careful cruelty, slow, savouring. He runs. The girl in white glides after him, dress floating, feet never touching the floor, gaining silently. Her scream fills the corridor, then snaps into a whisper at his ear, close enough to feel damp breath. A heavy stone door slams, trapping him. Carlos hammers his shoulder into it until bruises bloom, breath ragged. His flashlight dies. In the dark, the girl giggles like she enjoys his exact location, memorizing it, keeping it. Police pry him out again. Carlos stares past them, hearing his own voice whispering behind their backs, smiling. By the end, the pattern feels almost rude in how obvious it gets. It starts with whispers at dusk. It graduates to names on paper, then names on stone. Then it pulls the worst trick of all, using your own voice to walk you somewhere you should never go. And look, I'm telling you this, because if you ever feel that little impulse to answer a voice you recognize in a place you shouldn't be, don't. Not once. Mara goes into Rose Hill with recorders and confidence, and she leaves behind a shattered camera and one last file, frantic breathing, then a whisper saying, "You're here now." Carlos survives twice, yet he still flees town like the cemetery has his scent. And if you're wondering about that first whisper, Eli's name at dusk, just know Rose Hill never stops learning new ones.